Good evening. Welcome to Friday with the fellas. Right now, it's just the fellas. BA, and right next to me, I have James J Train Martin. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Oh, wait a minute.
Man,
Before I even had to say anything, here comes our maitre d here. She's coming up in here in a minute. Hold on. Flick on. Oh, she's probably there. She is.
Hi
There she
guys.
is.
Oh my gosh. Are we already live? Yep, we are.
Yeah,
So
we're live, girl.
sorry.
It's 9 o'clock. What's up? What's
The
up?
crazy Hi James. Hi Brian.
what's going on?
So the crazy thing, I literally logged in at like 8:05 and set all my stuff up and had my light where I want it to be. And of course, as soon as I log on, it falls. And so then my camera and everything goes offline. So I'm here. Welcome everybody to Friday with the Fellas. Thanks y'all for the introductions. I'm sure you've already got it situated when I got here. And B, if you can get our banner going. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. Shout out to LaMelo Ball. I'm wearing my Ball One shirt now. Charlotte Hornets, go Hornets! Looking good, representing the home NBA team tonight. Of course, I'm always rolling with the Hawks a little bit as well, but the Hornets are there. But how y'all doing? I feel like it's been forever since I saw you guys. And what's up, RM Dizzle?
It's been
It's
a
been
week.
forever. It just feels like it's been forever.
Busy
Even
week,
though I
right?
saw James on I saw James on Wednesday, but other than that,
Yeah. Yeah, you guys show be really off the rails. So, and hello to everybody out there. And that's funny. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube, Facebook. I think we're back on Facebook now. We had like a little challenge there Wednesday, so I see we're rolling there. Hello to Facebook. What's up, Savage Goober 98? Okay. All right. And anyway, welcome everybody all the way in. Friday with the Fellas. Of course, I'm Sonja. Got B and James. Thanks for the production to Pink Fanfur, the realest real creator out there, and Brian BA Arts, who does all of our music and intros and all that good stuff. And want to also thank everybody for all the continued birthday wishes. Believe it or not, y'all, like today is the official, I believe it's today, first day of Pisces. So that is my brother James Martin's sign coming up. He's got a birthday here the next 3 weeks now. February just spun out of here. And so thank you guys for that. We'll be spending next month celebrating James J. Trey Martin. And what's up, Rochelle? Yeah, thank you, Dizzle. All right, so let's get to it, guys. Of course, this is the Combine week. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Combine coming up, I should say. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, we'll be talking a little bit about NFL and NBA on tonight. The Super Bowl odds came out today, y'all. 32 teams odds to win the championship. Of course, at least for my team, I don't think the odds are super high right now. But assigning each specific team, this is something they do every year. They assign all 32 teams the probability of winning next season's championship. Of course, that would be Super Bowl 61. Odds actually look at the team's factors. It's a combination of how they look at it, how they perform, their coaching stability. So, that eliminates at least 10 teams right there because they're new coaches. I mean, there are some good veteran coaches there, but still, it's going to be an acclimation period you would expect, unless you're Mike Vrabel. But nonetheless, a lot of teams that made deep playoff runs are going to be present in there, and those that had elite quarterbacks as well. Those are going to be the ones that have the stronger odds. And then, meanwhile, those teams that are rebuilding that we saw are those with major roster questions or implications. They will be the ones that are on the lesser end. Of course, it's not perfect. This is all in fun. People do actually wager on this kind of thing, though, guys. But it's super early. We literally just wrapped up like 3 weeks ago. And so the influence here is basically about fan expectations and, what we all think about, not specific our team, but the odds overall, especially when you look at injuries from this past season that may carry over into the next season. Those are all things that we have to look at in looking at who's actually on this list. But this actually makes the unofficial start of the 2026 season. So, guys, what were your thoughts? Did you have a chance to look at some of these teams that made top 10?
Well, I'm gonna say I really don't pay attention too much right now because everything's too soon. We don't have the combine, we don't have draft day, we don't have free agency. All that stuff has to play a role, and I can see right now. And I want to give the champs their due. They still the champs right now until you beat the man. I mean, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So the one thing I would say is that Seattle should be garnered as the team to beat for next season in 2026.
And will. They probably won't. But however, I mean, B, I'm going to plug this in for your part as well. I had Bo Crouch on. Thanks, Bo, for joining me on Wednesday. Football Talk with Bo. He's also Coast to Coast host. I had to think before I misnamed the show, but we had a few other Seattle points that we did not get to. So Bo will be joining me again probably around the first week of March to kind of do a part two, because as you guys know, Seattle is up for grabs now. What's up, Brent? Seattle is on the roster block, as they say, but this time for the whole team to be sold. But B, let me just plug in this part right here. There are rumors that Seattle may not be paying their MVP, Kenneth Walker, to come back. And so he may be going elsewhere, according to the conversation Bo and I had, especially because they picked up a second draft right behind him. Is this going to be a difference maker to this team? Or, what as far as these odds about going into next year's Super Bowl odds?
Now, Bo knows better than that. If he said that wasn't going to happen, they're going to re-sign Kenneth Walker. Believe you me. That's the first thing he was talking about as soon as they won the Super Bowl to the owner. In fact, the owner even made the statement. It wasn't even 5 minutes after they won the Super Bowl. He's up there in my ear talking about, we get a deal done. We're going to get a deal done. So I think the deal's on the table for them. They're not going to put a franchise tag on him because they can put that on somebody else on the team that they need to put it on. They're going to re-sign Kenneth Walker. I have no doubt in my mind that they're not going to do that. They are definitely going to do that. So that's just talk. We have all these rumors that go on real early. It's just like just like the list that they had for Super Bowl odds. It's way too early for that stuff. I don't pay attention to that stuff because things can happen. So in between that time, and I think a lot of things too. What we really got to say is Seattle going to repeat this year? Do they have a realistic chance of repeating, because they got all this stuff going on behind the scenes too? You got to understand that selling a team. You don't know what's going to happen with the new owner, what he or she is going to want to do. And it's, everything's up in the air once you get a new owner. We've seen several teams, they get new owners. Yeah, they get new owners. It's like, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. And then those players that come with those people that they don't want here, they go with them too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it is what it is.
What's up?
Two things, if I can interject, Sonja, on that.
Absolutely.
I agree with you, B, in regards to Kenneth Walker III. I think he has to be retained because, first of all, he turned it on the latter few games of the season, and he had a massive playoff series. I mean, he was the main engine that drove that team offensively. With that said, Charbonnet's hurt. He's coming off an ACL tear, and he probably won't be back in until sometime in the latter part of the season, close to the playoffs. And so you're going to need a running back. You could draft one, but you don't know what you got. You know what you have in Kenneth Walker III. And so I think the leverage is for him. They're probably going to allow him to go to free agency, but they're probably going to match whatever it is the other team is trying to pay him. And it may be between 12 to 13 million a season, because the franchise tag is 14.1. The franchise tag is 14.1 million. So I think they're going to give it to him because they almost have no choice. And then now, in regards to what you're saying about potential new ownership, you're just coming off a Super Bowl win. I don't think they're going to do too much more different than what they've done.
Well, you would think not, but
yes, yes, I agree. You would think not, but stranger things have occurred in life, and so we will see. But I definitely, again, go back to Kenneth Walker III coming back to Seattle. being with a new contract. And this is his I would say, what do you call it? His peak season, his peak time contract, because this will be probably his biggest contract of his career. Because running back's life, it probably is their peak season is between like ages 27 to about 30, 31, and he's turning 26 this season. So I mean, he's 26 now. So this is the money that he did everything he could to get him a big contract, and I think he's going to get it with Seattle. So
until you mentioned that too, with Charbonnet being hurt and him having such a tremendous playoff series and being MVP of the Super Bowl, a dude's got all the cards in his favor. He really does. So that's why I don't see, the franchise tag. I wouldn't franchise tag him. You just pay the guy. You need a guy. So just pay him and just franchise tag somebody that you might not be able to afford immediately and just work from that point forward. But yeah, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, according to I was just looking while you guys were commenting. You had something else, James? I'm sorry.
I just said cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Yeah, I went ahead and looked while you guys were talking, and as 10 hours ago, there has been a statement by Seattle made on behalf of Kenneth Walker, and they're basically saying they're going to wait to the combine to decide what they're going to do. They're going to go down and get a chance to see what talent is there, even though I feel like, yeah, whatever. This is according to John Snyder, their general manager. He was quoted by Yahoo Sports today saying that, of course, he ruffled everybody's feathers by saying he was going to be negotiating Kenneth Walker. But he actually did say that he's going to go down, wait and see what they pick up at the combine, see what the talent looks like there, as far as not really necessarily pick up, but, get a chance to see what's out there. And multiple free agents decisions are actually looming for that organization, not just with Kenneth Walker. Mm-hmm. One taking place here in a couple of days, February 22nd, and then March 2nd in Indianapolis. And it's a scouting event that Seattle is actually going to have. But he did say that he wants a chance to sit down and see where everyone's head is at, including Kenneth Walker and his management team, and then they would go from there. So he did note that others in the unit have stepped up, pointing to strong pass protection, and basically other players. I don't know why he's saying this, but he's saying there's other players that are just as worthy, especially with the team's victory in the Super Bowl, that even though he was praising Walker as their MVP, he made a joke that it actually didn't go well. Ken Walker, and this is the quotes, being the MVP, let's go. He tried negotiating with me 5 minutes ago. It was really weird, MVP. So they're just going to kind of wait, but they're saying, wow. Seattle has likely given up on Kenneth Walker III is the next hot headline in this article from Yahoo Sports, which is a credible source. I don't know where that's coming from, but the latest reports are suggesting
That's their opinion. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Many experts are saying that they are going to put the franchise tag on him just to try to keep him around. But it may come down to the financial part. Even though with this salary cap being raised up, it's almost like it's not even differential. Somebody asked in the comments earlier about the money part. $14.5 million, the franchise tag for running backs. His contract carried a cap hit of nearly $2.7 million. So the transition tag differential will be like $11.7 million for the team.
This is the name of the game. It's exactly what it is. It's negotiation time. It's time to petty up. I mean, or whatever you said, pony
petty up. Petty up.
Yeah, it's a little petty up. Yeah, they beat a little petty right now. I mean, the guy when Sonja just said that, it sounded a little like Jerry Jonas and Michael Parsons. Trying to say I'm going to give you a little. I mean, let's try to negotiate now without talking to the. What's up with that? Talk to my manager. I mean, talk to my agent. Don't talk to me about it. Let's figure it out. It's time. I did my part. Now you do your part. And I think that's what Kenneth Walker the third has done is just showed what he needs to do on the field. You can't. The tape speaks for itself. So they can say whatever they want to say. It's like Jerry Jones and Dallas trying to belittle or put it out there that George Pickens, got fined a few times in the middle of the season. They try to tarnish your name a little bit so they could try to bring down the price of you, but it's not going to happen. Somebody's still going to pay him X amount of millions, which probably upwards of 29 to 30, 31, 32 million a year in regards to George Pickens. But the same thing's going to happen for Kenneth Walker. This is the business. It can sometimes get downright ugly. It's not personal, but they want it to be to look like it's personal so that they can get what they want out of the deal. But if you just listen to your agent, Kenneth Walker, and if they let you go out and test the market, go test it, because some teams need it. My New Orleans Saints needs a running back. Carolina Panthers could use another running back because they're probably not going to bring back Rico Dowdle. Some other teams need running backs. I mean, Kansas City could use a running back. Boy, they had Kenneth Walker the third there. Boy, whew, I wouldn't even want to see him go there, to be honest with you. But they could use a running back too. So, and I just think that it's all smoke and mirrors right now. It's too early to see what's going to happen, but free agency is coming. First combine right now, and we're going to see maybe the second or third week of March. Second week of March is when free agency starts, and the 9th, right? It's the 9th or 9th or 12th, one of those days. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, you got to understand Seattle. It's an emotional time for Seattle right now. A, they're selling their team, and B, they just came off a Super Bowl. Everybody's emotional, so everybody's going to say all kinds of BS. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I'm pretty sure Walker will be in Seattle by the start of the season, and they'll probably franchise tag somebody else. I know one thing for certain: Tyreek Woolen won't be there. He's not going to be there at the beginning of the season. He will definitely be let go. So,
bye-bye.
Yeah, and actually, there's a couple of more before we get over to the next part I was going to talk about, since we were talking about running backs and cap space and things like that. Another big name is going to be Joe Mixon. He stepped away during the offseason with Texans last year, decided to have this surgery that they didn't know about, and they're like, we haven't even seen them. I don't know what it is. We haven't even seen or heard from him. I don't know what it is with these players that just step away and do their own thing and decide, I don't need to check in with anybody. I'm good. He missed the 2025 season, the entire season, because of this. And their general manager, Nick Caserio, has actually spoken out and basically said that they hadn't seen him even like up to now. And so he's going to be turning 30 here soon at the start of the year because he missed the entire season of football and just went AWOL, literally, like no pun intended, on them. It's a strong possibility he will not be back in 2026 with the team. And that will free up $8 million saved and $2 in dead cap for them.
Wow.
Pretty much what they were talking about though with him is, yeah, he wasn't coming in. He had some kind of weird thing that was going on with his health, and it just wasn't put out there. And I don't think they got the full gist of what was going on with his health, and that's what was the whole mystery thing going on. And he hadn't really surgery.
They said he had foot surgery.
There was more to that. There was some more health issues that he had that they were trying to figure out what was going on, because he was telling them certain things, but he wasn't decoding what he was putting out there. So they want to find out what's going on with him first before they make a decision whether to let him go or to have him for another season. But it's all based on if they can communicate with him and they have a good communication going on. So we'll see what happens with that. But you might be right; he might be gone by the end, for the free agency.
Yeah, he's amongst the list of players that are pretty much going to be gone. Like it's not even a question; it's just waiting for it to kind of. There's a list of them to go through them. James Conner's another big name out of the Cardinals that they're expecting, because they're looking at cap issues and performance issues and conduct issues, things like that have happened. And then some of the names were not big contributors, but big enough. Cole Kmet from the Chicago Bears is one. And that's going to be a big hit for them. Just for Kmet specifically, $3.2 million in dead cap, $8.4 million is going to be saved. He actually was the future at one point, but now they're focusing on Loveland for the team. But he had a slow start eventually. Then they're talking about DJ Moore. So this is for the tight end position for Chicago. This is going to be a pivotal thing for them, especially going into the draft now that they've got to look at this salary cap situation. They basically said DJ Moore kind of ties into this because of his 2027 base salary that becomes guaranteed March 13th of this year. So things have got to move around really, really quickly here. We'll come back to that if we have time. Right now, I'm going to move on because I do want to cover some NBA news today as well. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are being sued for copyright infringement. Apparently, these two gentlemen have some type of business venture outside of the NFL, and their promotions and ventures have violated the IP, which is intellectual property, of a trademark holder. So because they're both highly known athletes, we get a word out here, high profile athletes with major commercial influence, the case has drawn significant attention because the lawsuit doesn't imply they necessarily deliberately did this, and they are open to a settlement, which means even though they infringed on this copyright, perhaps maybe they could get the legal rights to actually own it after all. But it's basically they took somebody else's work, made it their own, put their names on it, and they're using it for their own capital. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Who is it? Patrick Mahomes and who else?
Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're already setting up their post-football lives, I'm assuming, since everybody's kind of got it out there that Kelce's going to be on his way out.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Wilson is another person from the Dallas Cowboys, y'all. He's going to save them $6.5 million in salary cap space. But it's weird because, this is not even free agency, and all these people's names are being hurled out there. We know how finicky Jerry has been acting as of late. So nothing really surprises me, but he's a veteran defender. If they cut him, it could also look like they're trying to rebuild on their defensive strategy. This is going to factor into their broader offseason plan, which may include pursuing free agents or re-signing some of their key players. Like for Wilson specifically, this is going to make him on the unrestricted free agency able to sign with any team.
Yeah, well, whatever. Wilson is not really he's not the guy that he was when he was with Cincinnati, that's for sure. And he showed that with Dallas too. I just don't think he fit with Dallas, to tell you the truth. They just got him for some reason. I don't know what they were. But anyway,
Dallas just been grabbing everybody. I always say just suit up and go out there.
I do believe that Jerry Jones is going to be out there this year, really, because he's going to CYA stuff this year. He talked all that BS last year. He's actually going to go on his word and make sure he gets people on that team this year, because now it's like put up or shut up. So, Jerry Jones is losing a little bit of credibility by opening his mouth before, cashing checks before, he can cash them. So,
they can probably use cornerback and linebacker. So I imagine defense is where they're going to be.
He'll be going to, Their draft should be solid. They always got solid drafts. So.
Speaking of solidness, the Rams have promoted Nate Shieldhouse to their offensive coordinator position. You guys know all the teams that make playoff pushes, their offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators usually get positions elsewhere, usually as a head coach. And so this is no different with them. His new role gives him greater responsibility in game planning, play calling, and offensive development. This move is actually going to suggest for the Rams that they want to continuity in their locker room. They didn't want to go outside and do anything. They could have very easily got one of these coaches that had been relieved from their duties, but they decided to promote from within, kind of like what the Bills did with Brady. And so there you have it. It's going to influence how the Rams actually approach their draft and free agency, especially on the offense, with them now having this new offensive coordinator. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so in regards to I'm glad you brought that up. In regards to the gentleman, he just got the promotion. Congratulations to him. I forget how to pronounce his name. Is it Shieldhouse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, blah, 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 blah. So I definitely think it's a big deal that he got a position of, upgraded from pass game coordinator to offensive coordinator. But, however, it was mentioned in the article that I read that he applied for he had interviews with 5 different head coaching jobs. And so, of course, as being, I don't know if I could be mistaken if he's a man with a tan or is he a man of color, African American? Is he?
I don't know. That name doesn't sound like it. What is he, B? Do you know?
I think he's biracial. He looks biracial just looking at him. I'm just thinking. So, with that said, again, this is another guy. The Rooney Rule just doesn't really help in any way. I'm not saying that he's supposed to have a job. I don't know. I mean, as a head coach, I don't know him. I wasn't in the room where he got hired, when he got interviewed. But that being said, again, they said 5 different jobs he applied for. I mean, not applied for, but had interviews with. And of course, the interview is, process is big. A lot of guys get interviews and don't get hired. But this may be another guy that just falls in the mix that just fell short of a head coaching job.
Well, bringing him up to offensive coordinator should help him out in the future too. I don't think there's too many people that rightly, besides any real Rams fans, would know of the staff. So I would think that, and you got to understand something. McVay is the one that gets that offense going. He's not the defensive. So it's kind of like the Andy Reid thing with Eric Bieniemy and Nagy before him. So he's going to be calling the offense, but it's going to go through. It's going to go through that young man. So we'll see what happens. I mean, hey, there's offensive coordinators that have been in that situation and got head coaching jobs just because they were under that person. So they figure they can steal that mindset, you know what I'm saying, and get them on that team. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But we'll see. He should be fine.
We'll see. The verdict's still out. Sticking to big news. Now, this one shocked me because I literally was just talking to someone about this team earlier, and I assumed that they were still thinking about moving to the northern part of the city, the team facility, that is, the field, the playing field, their location. Well, Indiana has unanimously passed a bill to lure the Chicago Bears from Illinois completely to Indiana. Now, the Indiana lawmakers today got involved and approved a bill designed to attract the Chicago Bears to relocate to their state. Now, they already got the Colts. I don't know why they want the Bears there, but I digress. It's a unanimous vote, y'all, for the property. They already got the property out there. This usually involves incentives like tax breaks and things like that. So it's about the money, stadium funding, or infrastructure commitments. But this move is intensifying the fact that Chicago, who has played at Soldier Field since 1971, so just close to about 55 years here, will be definitely moving. This is their long-term stadium plans, which have been uncertain as to where they were going to move, but the relocation efforts have started to create some tension between critics, cities, and the fan bases as far as ownership groups, especially now that you're talking about now it's approved to move completely out of the state of Illinois. We're no longer talking about going to the north side of Chicago, because right now, and I've been to that stadium, it sits on Lakeshore Drive, centralized right in downtown Chicago. As you're leaving the city going out to the south side, it was projected literally right in the center. It's literally a very even balance. They were speaking about moving it to the north side of the city, which is up in Evanston. My grandmother's from that area, and so I'm familiar with that area as well, which would have still allowed Bears fans to be able to attend the games without the congestion of that traffic. The traffic off Lakeshore Drive on game day is, I can't even describe. To sit in front of the stadium for close to 2 hours and not be able to park is insane. They do need to move it outside of Lakeshore Drive just to allow people to be able to get there. Kind of like how the Braves moved out to Cobb County as opposed to being kind of the downtown area. But to me, that really wasn't that bad, but they thought it was. So they moved out a little bit from Turner Field to Truist Park, which is just a little bit north of the city. However, for the Bears, in my opinion, guys, to not even be looking at the northern part of the city anymore, But to be moving out of state now, Indiana. Let's be clear for those who don't know geographically. Indiana is literally right there. As soon as you go through Southside Chicago, you're already in Gary, Indiana. It's literally if you fly into Midway or O'Hare, you literally are like within minutes of being from Indiana into Chicago. So I'm pretty sure the area they're talking about is the Hammond, Indiana area, which is probably right outside Gary, Wolf Lake area, right outside Gary. But still, it's a different state. And I'm just like, the Bears don't even represent them. It's not like the Panthers who represent North and South Carolina. The Bears are Chicago, Illinois. You guys' thoughts?
If I had to vote on this, that would be a definite no. It would be a H to the E to the LL to the no.
Yes.
I just don't think that. I don't think that even. It's like Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Indiana, Chicago, Indiana. No, man. What? I just don't. I don't get that. 2 teams in that state. That don't even make sense. I mean, do you even have the infrastructure to support 2 teams? I mean, as far as the fan base, I just don't. I don't get that. And how would Chicago even allow that to happen? That's my thing. Is that you're really going to let your team of all those years you've been there since the beginning? I mean, they were championship teams before the Super Bowl in Chicago. There's no way that fan base will be in an uproar. There's no way you can do that. And I don't think it'll happen. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen at all.
It's not a far drive. It's not a far drive from Southside Chicago into Indiana. But
to leave the state,
East Chicago. Well, I mean, you New York Giants and the New York Jets are in what state?
They play in Jersey.
Thank you. So it's the same thing. And they're not too far from East Chicago. East Chicago is just right outside the borderline, and Gary is to the east of them, of Hammond.
Yep.
But that's just that's to me it's a little different because they I mean, well, it's not different because they've established that they are the New York Giants for a long time there, they were in the Meadowlands a long time in New York. But I I guess they just play there, but still, I mean, how big of a difference is it? Like that's to me where they're in New Jersey, they're right there, right? Aren't they like right? In New York is a lot smaller. How close are they?
They're across
like 20, 30 minutes.
River. They're across the Hudson, yeah. So I mean, so it's not. I mean, it's basically it is the same thing. I mean, if you look at it, like I said, East Chicago is just right outside of the border of Indiana. So you still have the metropolis of Chicago right there. So it's not like it's a far move. And unpopular contrary to belief here is that you think the fans are going to be in uproar, but the fans don't like the stadium that they're in right now. They don't like the Veterans Stadium. And they've been trying to hash out this with Illinois delegations. The mayor of Chicago was all for everything they wanted to do. However, the Illinois Senate did not like any of that. And so they told them to go north, and then they started boxing around with that whole situation with the Bears. And then the Bears were like, okay, hold up. Look, we need $855 million worth of support from the people. And that's where the legislature is like, I don't want to do that to our people and, have them pay for that stadium like that. And see, that's what Hammond's doing. Hammond is saying, we got monopoly money coming down here. We got monopoly money. We'll build a stadium. We won't even ask our people to pay for the stadium because we got it. So you have that draw because they're going to automatically do what you want them to, you want them to do. So for the Bears, that's great. And you're not going to change the name of the Bears. I don't think they're going to change it to the Hammond Bears. They can probably just change.
No, they won't change it. But it's just
the name. So it's going to be, like I say, it's going to be kind of the same. Don't look at it like don't look at it like you see like New Jersey. I call them New Jersey Giants and New Jersey Jets because that's where they play. They play in New Jersey. And so I would be basically calling them the Indiana Bears, but whatever the case may be, I like to mess with them anyway because you know me. Anyway, but they'll probably still be called the Chicago Bears. They'll just be playing in Indiana. And you're right. Chicago is the way Chicago is set up as far as how you get around is crazy. Too many one-way streets going one way and not enough going the other way. It's a very difficult city to drive,
especially off Lakeshore Drive. It's a wrap.
Yeah. It's just it's outrageous, and I understand where people think about doing a transport to the stadium stuff. That's nuts. All that stuff is nuts. They have problems every game, home game. So. Yep. I would say that would be a good move. I mean, 50% of the people don't care. They're just going to drive down there. I don't know how far it is north. How far did they say was north of Chicago where they were going to?
So north is because I'm familiar with that area too. It would have just been maybe about the same, honestly, 30 to 40 minutes because it depends on what part of North Chicago. If they're talking about Evanston, it's less than an hour. So to go from there to right outside of Gary with the traffic is still going to be close to 45 minutes to an hour, especially if you're going down to Dan Ryan or 94. You still gotta deal with the same elements. It's just moving them out of the city. But I'll say this: Chicago should be ashamed of themselves that they couldn't get this bill passed to keep this team north of the city. You should not be moving because, like Jay Train said, it's a difference when we look at the Jets and the Giants who have always played in New Jersey. The Chicago Bears have always played in Chicago. They've always played in Illinois. At a minimum, build on the Illinois side if you're going to do that, and at least keep the team in Illinois. Don't let the lawmakers get involved. This is something that don't normally even happen, that lawmakers are putting their 2 cents in. Hi, Donna, because it's all about the money at the end of the day. And like you guys said, fans are going to drive anyway. Look at how the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, even though they renamed the team, have moved. Those folks just going to drive 5 hours through the desert. They don't care because fans will be fans. But
teams are going to go where they're going to get paid. That their team is going to get paid.
Though. But to keep the name the same and to move in Indiana is just heartbreaking for those fans because you have enough people that live in Chicago and in Illinois. Chicago is one of the largest cities in the U.S. You have enough people that are sports fans that could have supported that team and got them the revenue they needed right outside of Chicago. This is an atrocity, honestly. We got to run this.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I've been saying this, and I know you got to go. We got to go, but it's rival states. I mean, that's Midwest. There's no way I would want it to go. If I'm in Louisiana and the Saints move, it's like them moving over to Mississippi or to Alabama, to one of those rivals, southern states. I would hate that as a fan. I wouldn't want to travel.
But even those two states don't even have a team, so it would have been a little bit better than Indiana, who already has the Colts. But I guess they're saying the Colts are AFC, so there it is what it is.
Not dog park.
All right, we got to run this commercial. I don't know if you saw my message. We need to run this commercial.
I got you. That's why I took the banner off.
Too far behind.
All right. So we're doing it.
All right, guys, we're going to run this little commercial. We'll be back.
Masterpiece, the vision is clearer, nearer. My God, to thee, learning to lean on his power. Your perspective can be sweet when circumstances are sour. I'm saying. I can see the vision clearer. Your identity is waiting, and you feel that hope is fading. Just hold on, it's gonna be alright. Trust in God, stand firm and hold tight. It's like that, yeah. It's like that, yeah. Meditation, I'm searching for a peace that's not present. I'm searching for feelings of solitude, emotions that's pleasant. Treasure, what did you deem important versus essential? We put our heart and soul in every line behind instrumentals. Coincidental? I think not. God's plan from the very beginning. Create the type of music that make people think twice before sinning. Pleading, Holy Father, please forgive our trespasses. Confusing things we want for things we need in life, I must have. Selfish, inconsiderate, narcissistic people. Christ died for all the world, so there is power in Jesus. Issues happen, disagreements, dissensions, distortions. This fallen flesh, we still forget sometimes that God is our portion. Forcing others won't cut it nor manipulation. One thing that's very destructive is self-righteous behavior. Satan, he's crafty, throwing darts like Bailey's.
All right, guys, and we are back. Thank you for everyone who has donated to Pearson. She's on the final 2 weeks, y'all, and she's super appreciative of her scholarship drive. We'll be wrapping it up here shortly. It seems like just yesterday she had me to actually announce that, but here we are, and we are so appreciative to all of you. Got just a couple of more NFL things to talk about before we hop over to the NBA. Max Crosby, I mean, 4 potential new teams trade offers coming in for him. This is a big headline for him, the analysis of 4 NFL teams that could realistically look for Max Crosby, pursue him for a trade. He's one of the league's most productive pass rushers, and so any trade speculation immediately becomes major news, as we know. He's a franchise level player. This is going to emphasize any team that he specifically goes to, and I know for a fact he seemed like he was just unhappy, you guys, with the last season. Now that Pete Carroll is gone, the Raiders are going through yet another coaching change. I just don't know. I mean, do you guys think he would benefit to go to another team at this point?
He may benefit. He don't want to go to another team. He has repeatedly got on people's show and said this. Repeatedly. He said the only way he's going to be leaving as a Raider, right?
Right.
The only way he's going to be leaving as a Raider is if they trade him. And it's up to the Raiders to do that. He don't want to go nowhere. He's said this too many times. Yeah. So it's not that he's a Raider for life. That's what it is. He's a Raider for life. And the Raiders keep saying they want him to, and they're the deal with him right now is 2 first-round picks and a potential a prime player. So say if you traded him to Carolina, they probably would want your rookie receiver. Because that's who they're trying to do. They're trying to get somebody that's going to be an automatic starter for them day one if they're going to trade and get 2 first-round picks. Nobody going to do that. Nobody is going to do that. No,
you talking about we would have to give him T-Mac?
T-Mac,
oh,
yes,
no,
a prime player.
Listen,
that's what I'm saying. Nobody's going to do that. You got the Lions fans over here. Oh, we'll give him. They don't want that. They want somebody like they want Amon St. Brown.
He's actually linked to the 49ers. He's linked to the 49ers, Dallas, and the Bears have expressed interest in him.
Yeah, the Bears are going to give them a first-round draft pick, and I forgot who they said they're going to give. Oh, Montez Sweat. You don't want to do no. Nope. That ain't happening.
Let me say this. I think that I hear what Max Crosby's saying. I hear what the brass is for the Vegas Raiders are saying. Vegas Raiders are saying. But the actions tell me a lot different. The last part of the season, they shut him down. He's out there playing basketball, supposed to be hurt and all this other kind of stuff. I think there's a little more smoke here. I think there might be a little more smoke. That's why I said
he was not happy.
Yeah, so I think that could be. I'd be interested to see the next couple of weeks what may happen because I'm not going to just shut it down. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So you got
new management. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm speaking. But he's also playing for the Raiders, regardless of who's coaching. So he may want to go to a team like the Bills or somewhere like that. It's a team that's competing. He may want to be with a team. He's getting his money, so he wants to win too. So maybe he wants to go to a team. We'll see what Kubiak does. I'm not saying opposed to him being the guy that comes in and be the savior, but it hadn't been done in some years for now. With multiple different coaches that have tried, including Gruden. So
you're going by. Again, you guys are going by what you saw at the end of last season or this season, but he has repeatedly said stuff on Twitter. Since then repeatedly said stuff on Twitter, been on people's podcasts and said he's not trying. He don't want to be traded. He wants to stay a Raider. That's what he said. If you got to say it so many times that you're getting sick of saying it, and he's come on there and said, look, I'm getting sick of talking about it, period. I said what I said. That's it. That's all. If anybody's got anything else to say about it, it's the Raiders. It's the organization. They got to trade me, then they will. But other than that, I mean, he don't want to do that. So
what did Myles Garrett do? Myles Garrett cut off all Cleveland, all everything. I want to get out of here. I want to be on a contender. Money ain't everything. I'm not saying it's the money issue, but winning may be that too. I'm just saying, just don't put it aside. I'm not saying that he's going to be on that team, but it ain't a definite. I guarantee you, it ain't no definite.
Well, they're asking what the Raiders are asking for Max Crosby is way over what they gave to, or way over what they would have gave for Garrett. Okay, Garrett was like money. You were going to be taking some of his money as well, because he had just got signed. As a matter of, when he went through all this stuff, you would have to take on his contract. Max Crosby's already has his contract. You just got to take on the rest of it. You got to load it on there. So you got that issue, plus the fact that you got to give up 2 number ones and a primary player on your team. Oh, hell no. Ain't nobody doing that. Nobody's doing that.
Some team would do it. I guarantee you some team would do it.
Ain't no team.
Yes. Teams have done it. Teams have done it. Teams have done it.
They ain't going to do that.
Teams have done this. The teams have done more than that. Oh, wait, hold on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, James.
No, go ahead. I just
no, I this is what I want. It's D's time to get the high voice. Let me sit back.
Don't be starting no stuff that ain't gonna be starting. He's got an opinion. We always do this.
Yeah, yes, no, it's cool. Go ahead, James. Though, for real. No,
for real. I just think that the door is open. I don't think it's closed to that. I think people they like to say what they want to say because they probably don't want to just put the business out there. I think Max Crosby's a classy guy. I think the organization is pretty, for the most part, pretty classy. I hadn't heard them put anybody under the bus besides Gruden, and that wasn't them. It was, the NFL. But I just think that it may be smoke. I think there might be some smoke there.
Yeah, according to NFL.com, another credible source, Max Crosby just went on a show February 12th. He went on a podcast, with Jim Gray, and it's the Let's Go podcast. And he just said he refuses to address the rumors either way. He literally was like, all I care about is getting healthy, getting healthy, and that's all I can control. He said people have been asking him if he said this or that, and basically NFL.com is saying this is not saying I will always be a Raider statement. There's wiggle room for him to go either way, or reconciliation in his response. 5-time Pro Bowler, of course. All he said he cares about is his wife and his daughters and getting healthy. Like, he literally was quoted as that. He's, of course, inked this $106.5 million extension last March to be exact. But he was miffed at how the organization shut him down to close the regular season. So Ian Rappaport said he's been heavy on that. He said that on Super Bowl Sunday, Crosby had recent knee surgery, and so a resolution on what his future could look like, whether or not he comes back to the Raiders. And Ian is like one of the apostles writing the Bible for real, because he be having this stuff. He said it's still up in the air and it could take some time. So at this joint, and like Jay Train said, we did see the dude out there playing basketball and stuff at home. Like, you don't put stuff on social media when you're supposed to be in one space. There are like shots fired beneath the scenes. That was a message. That wasn't just, let me put this out for my fans. This was like, hey, Raiders, everybody, management, I'm really not doing what y'all think I'm doing 100%. I'm at home chilling, living my best life. And guess what? I'm shooting hoops. So this surgery that you guys thought had me like down in the bed, I'm hooked up to IVs and everything. I'm not. I'm out shopping. I'm out balling. And so that was a shot. And when I saw that, to me, it did portray that there was something else behind the scenes. I'm just saying that was literally how I felt. Like, whoa, I didn't even realize he wasn't happy with them. And J Train, you will recognize this from how Derek Carr did with the Saints when he was there. All of a sudden, we see this, that, and the third with him. And then he tells the whole church, this is what it really was. And so we see these players, they've made all these millions of dollars. Marcus Mariota bounced out on the Falcons and had this unspecified surgery and just never showed back up. These players get the money, and we've already talked about players early on that just don't show up anymore. Like, what's the biggest thing you could do? Oh, you're not gonna pay me my other $2 million? No worries, I already got the other $100 million already in the bank that you already paid me.
Well, I'm not saying there was. I'm not saying there was no discontent with him at the end of last season. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that was with old management. That's with the people that they had as coaching staff then. Now they have a new coaching staff, and Kubiak has actually came out and said, I don't want him to go anywhere. But again, that's not entirely up to Kubiak. It's up to the Raiders organization. So that's what, and when he sat down with, who was it again that he sat down with the NFL?
Gray.
Yeah. So, I mean, he said as exasperation. If you watch the podcast, he said it out of exasperation. I don't want to really talk about it. I'm just dealing with my family and that's it. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. It is what it is if it happens. Because he's tired of talking about it. He said it so many times on his Twitter. Mm-hmm. He said it so many times on other people's podcasts. He's been part of trade speculations with Detroit, Chicago, Buffalo, Dallas. It's like, you call it, like I said, it's the beginning of the NFL season coming up. Rumors are high, emotions are high, especially with organizations that are doing the first round draft pick, which is the Raiders. And they get Mendoza. I'm sure that Kubiak wants to change a lot of things around on that team so it's more competitive. Something I was surprised that his predecessor did not do very well. It's weird, but anyway. It is what it is. If he gets traded, he gets traded. But if I just have a feeling he's just not. I just think that there's too many ends going on here, and things just need to calm down. The smoke needs to settle. It is what it is. As we always say, it is.
Yeah. Well, I say the verdict is still out. Moving over to the NBA as we get ready to wrap up the last 8 minutes here. LaMelo Ball, who I'm wearing his shirt, feels blessed. He actually crashed his whip this past week in Charlotte, avoiding injury. Thank God. He literally was quoted saying he was just blessed that he was not injured any further. I saw it when it actually happened. Looks like it was in a downtown area, honestly. But this is nothing new. Of course, Cam Newton, when he was in the area, crashed his whip too. And we know where there's other motorists, there's always the higher propensity for accidents to occur. Of course, this was kind of like he didn't want to go into details. LaMelo, I'm speaking about, didn't want to go into details about, events or anything like that, or anybody else that was specifically involved. But the key takeaway for this is that he's remaining healthy for the Hornets. This is a good thing for the Hornets because they've been on a good win streak as of late, and he's good to go. Now, another person who is not good to go, though, however, at least for now, is none other than DeAndre Hunter. He's had eye surgery for the Kings, and he is now out for the season. This is the Sacramento Kings. I'm speaking about him. Underwent eye surgery and will miss the remainder of the season from an eye injury that he actually had. And we're hoping that he recovers really well because, eye injuries are very serious. I mean, all injuries are, but this involves his vision. We don't know the prognosis of the outcome of this. But the Kings, of course, are going to be missing him. They're going to have to adjust their rotation, likely increasing playing minutes for other younger or less experienced players. What are your guys' thoughts on this as you kind of know that the Kings have had to be going through a period of readjustment at this point?
So a couple of things. As you know, I work in the field of retina. So I can speculate a little bit. I don't know for sure if it is this, but it could be a retinal detachment. Typically, if it's an injury or trauma to some degree, it could be either be cornea, macular hole, where the retina splits and leaves a central spot in your vision. You have to actually have surgery, or it could be a retinal detachment. Maybe he's probably highly nearsighted, and his eyes are more elongated, and he as a young person has more of a propensity to be at risk for retinal detachment. So he may have that as well, and that would take a little bit more recovery time, and that's probably why they shut him down. And it's unfortunate because he was just traded to this team from Cleveland.
Yep.
And so,
Yep.
and it's just like to not have him at the end of the season, not even though I don't think Sacramento was actually had any hope for any reason this season, but again, unfortunate for him, the player, and unfortunate for the organization at this time. And I wish him a well recovery as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to say something that Jack says. What do you mean? Why are we talking about the Sacramento Kings? They're in last place. Nobody cares about the Sacramento Kings. So, I mean,
yeah, you've been clearly hanging around him a little too long.
I feel like I just need to say that for Jack's sake. But, it's the Sacramento Kings. Stuff happens. It's not going to make any difference if they had both those players playing anyway at this point, because they're 12-45, last place in the Western Conference. They ain't going nowhere. I mean, I have more respect on the reporting for Melo for his accident, because they're actually doing things. So
yeah. All right. Well, speaking of another team that's halfway decent, I guess maybe not according to this player state, with Kawhi Leonard. I can't even speak. Kawhi Leonard came out and said, Clippers title hopes are over now. I mean, like, how do you make such a blunt statement after the trade deadline shakeup has occurred? The Clippers, of course, traded Harden to Cleveland and moved Ivica Zubac to Indiana, receiving Darius Garland currently, who is injured, so he can't even, contribute to this team right now. Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson, and picks in return. Kawhi also emphasized that the team now needs development over time, and signaling lowered expectations for the remainder of the season despite a terrible 6-21 start. The Clippers have now gone 21-7 since mid-December, and now they are number 9 in the West. However, just coming from such a big player on the court to make such a directed and blunt comment, is he right, or do you think he's just trying to kind of get the hype going with his team? Like, hey guys, you need to use this as kind of like a counterproductive.
Well, he's not a guy to really talk about basketball or anything at all. So it's amazing that he actually came out and said that. But ever since the All-Star game, I mean, he's put everybody on notice. I mean, he can still play. He can still light it up, and he had an amazing quarter in the All-Star game with 32 points. But however, if he feels like that, I don't think he thinks they have a shot. Meaning, they may get to the play-in, they may get some level, maybe first round, second round, but he's thinking that's probably the extent of it. There's some great teams in the West, and it's going to be super competitive. And I agree with him. And look, it benefited Cleveland. Cleveland got James Harden. I was wrong. I didn't think James Harden was going to make them better. They've been undefeated since James Harden has been there. So they are looking like they are ready to make some moves in the playoffs as well. So kudos to them. And I feel really sorry for Kawhi Leonard, but not that much. I mean, him and his off the field money shenanigans that he's got going on.
Right.
So as we close out, we got
back to your mansion, whatever.
Yeah. As we close out, we got some games here for today. Of course, the Pistons beat the Knicks 126-111 behind Cade Cunningham's 42-point explosion was the difference maker. The Raptors beat the Bulls 110-101. Spurs routed the Suns 121-94, and that really was a rout. Celtics beat the Warriors 121-110. Steph Curry still trying to get back to where he needs to be from this injury. The Magic crushed the Kings 131-94, and Kevin Durant scored 35 points to lift the Rockets over their win. Those were today's scores. But we appreciate everybody that's been on tonight. James will be on tomorrow morning with Jack Hirsch for the debate show. And we'll also be on Sunday morning, the big Sunday morning sports show now for Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you guys next Wednesday and the following Friday. And with that, this is Friday with the Fellas. We'll rebroadcast at 2 a.m. Y'all have a good night.
Peace.
Good night.